Awesome. Okay, so super excited to be here with you all today. And I got some announcements, I got perspective, I got stuff going on here. So I'll start with asking you, drop it in the chat. If you're here and you're coming back for more, what's your reason for it? Drop something in the chat. This also applies for people watching the replay. And if you are new, this also applies to people in the replay. Drop a message. Why are you here? Why is this important to you? Um, and if you guys are interested, you can also drop a message of what value do you get from joining these calls. All right, so giving you guys a moment to do that. Okay, cool. Between what you say and what I experience from others in the hot seat, I always learn how to relate to myself better. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you feel that way. Awesome. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay, so starting with some announcements. So I'll call it like good news and great news. You guys have a preference of what you want? It could be, we can just do it simple, like hold up a finger or two fingers. Which one do you want first? Yeah, okay, good news first. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Keeping it simple here. Okay, so my good news is that this version of this call is the last one of these, and I'm going to move my version of what this is to a more global platform. Which for me, I already have a big audience on TikTok, so I'm going over to TikTok. And so what that means is I'll be doing my lives on a global stage where anyone in the world can show up, as opposed to people with a little invite link. You know what I mean? So that is the good news. I'm moving over there. And yeah, if you guys want to join, I'll put out TikTok links and stuff like that, so you guys can just join in. And I'll still make this even better good news. I'll still even record it. That's part of what happens anyway. And I'll even still share replays for whatever comes up, so you guys can get the free thing there. Okay, so then the great news is where I'm going with all this. So like I've been sitting here and feeling into this for quite some time. And I've been on this inner journey for quite some time. I've been doing like calculating it today. I'm about 23 years deep into creating my reality. And so what's showing up for me with this is like I want it all. Like why do I do this spiritual journey? Why does anyone do the spiritual journey? That's like a real question for me. And when I come back to this, I come around to that I want it all, right? I want the money in the bank, I want the lover in the bed, I want the radiant beaming health, I want the superhuman experiences, I want the mind-blowing magical manifestations and miracles. Like I want it all. Are you guys with me on that? You guys want it all too? Yeah, yeah. So it's like I didn't start doing all this inner work. I think I'm around like 20,000 hours of inner work now. I didn't do all this inner work to get one thing at a time. It's like, oh yeah, I got my health for a little while, and okay, now I have the lover for a little while, and now I get some. I want all of it. I want it all. And so what I'm really reflecting on this. It's like where is the gap between where I am and where I want to be, and how do I get there? How do I get the experience of everything? How do I get it all simultaneously? And if you listen to the teachers who are been doing this for a long time, they claim it's possible. They're like, oh, look at me, I'm doing it all. Look at my whatever social media presence. It's all there, right? So how do we get there? And so connecting that back into the great news, that's the direction that I'm focusing now. And the label I'm giving it, just to make it a super simple reference, is superabundance. It is like, yeah, let's get abundance of everything in all areas of life. And if you Google the word superabundance, it actually refers to overflowing abundance. So not just abundance. I want more than enough in every area of life simultaneously. And that's what I'm going for. And so I know that when I tune into this stuff, I can do it. Things show up. When I'm really focused, when I'm really determined, when it means a lot to me the stuff shows up. Do you guys agree? I see some of you already nodding. Give some nods, drop something in the chat, make a comment, whatever feels good to you. I love when it's interactive. Yeah, awesome. Heck yeah, amazing. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. I want it all, and I know you guys want it all too. And I know that's why I'm on this journey. Who else is on this journey for the same reason? Not for just one thing, but for all simultaneously. Like drop something in the chat or nod or whatever it is. I got some nods, I got some smiles. Yeah, okay, so that's what it really means to me. And I spent a lot of time on this. You know, I spent a lot of time listening to experts and following strategies and doing the things that work for some people some of the time. And then I wonder like why can I do what I feel is right for me and sometimes get the results? I do what the experts say, sometimes don't get the results. What is going on with all this? What is up with this journey and how do we really make it work? And so when I'm coming around all this, I found that when we gather in groups, we actually do things create faster. If I'm sitting around on my own, doing it by myself, meditating, I spent a lot of time meditating. I spent years meditating like 10 hours a day. Like I've gone down these routes. I tested this stuff, so you guys don't have to. I'm like, hey, maybe this does work. Maybe, oh, I got this debilitating health issue. I'll just sit around and meditate all day. Maybe this will get me somewhere. You know, like I've done this. I've explored these things. So like, okay, so what is this? What's going on? So I made a system I call Trad Solution Everything, and I actually still feel it's the solution everything. And so what is that? It's about your vibration. What is our vibration? How do we do anything about that? It's our state of being. What's your state of being? It's the things you think about, it's the things you focus on, it's the way you feel. That then, when consistently experienced chronically over time, gathers a momentum from like a time space perspective that then turns into stuff, right? Our reality starts matching whatever our state of being is. And so that is one of the real big keys. Okay. But then if you just sit around and think about things all the time, I don't in my experience, it doesn't really make the big difference. I can sit around and imagine things all day long, and yeah, I'll see the synchronicity, sure, but doesn't make the physical experience occur. Sometimes. Yeah, okay. And there is some part of physical action that has to happen to that. You know, so that's important. So, okay, what is the action part? That's the inner guidance. That's that fall in your highest excitement. That's that fall in your calling. That's your passion, your purpose, all this good stuff. When we are in the flow of following the inner guidance, this shows up in a lot of different ways. Now, some people are listening to the voices. Some people are seeing the synchronicity. Sometimes it all shows up at the same time. Sometimes it's those uh, amazing synchronistic moments that come together that leave complete certainty that I contributed that with my state of being. So how do we get there? What is that? How and okay, so if it's about asking my higher self, I could show you guys how to do that. That's easy. You get connected, you tune in, you open up, you ask a brilliant question, the answer shows up eventually. If you're in that sweet spot, I show you guys on the call. If you're in that sweet spot, you can get the answer immediately. You can know what to do. And it's a lot like being in a dark room, turning the lights on, and just suddenly knowing where absolutely everything is. But then you turn the lights off. That's if you disconnect, you stop listening to yourself, whatever it is, you go start following the experts instead of listening to yourself. That's like turning the lights off and then wander around the dark trying to find the thing that you were looking for. Maybe it's a fun game. I probably used to do it as a kid. So now, how do we make that work? So you ask the guidance, it shows up. You listen to it, and you go, okay, I'm going to do the thing that it's suggesting. And if we are in that state of connectivity for long enough, and we're acting on it long enough, that it's not about time because it's about the momentum, it's about the vibration, it's about the tuned in. But if you're in that space and you're plugged in and you're following the synchronicity stack, they start coming together. Those experiences start building. They change from feelings to thoughts to plans to actions to experiences to synchronicities, rendezvous, the whole thing. Where now you're having a full-on sensory all the senses, all the multi-dimensional experiences, and it blows your mind more than anything you've ever experienced before. I've seen it over and over again in my life and other people's lives. Have you guys seen that too? You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Have you had it where it's like one amazing thing and then like another and another? Next thing you know, like your whole checklist of amazing experiences just blow out all at the same time. Like, how do we get more of that? And so if it's really the vibration and the state of being, then that's what I'm tuning into. And so I'm tuning into it and I'm following the guidance and I'm on my way there and it's my intent and my energy and I'm taking the action. And then what happens when all of a sudden I forgot to do that? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing what this other person said. They really got their life put together. I'm gonna start copying their life instead. And so what happens in my own experience is all of a sudden I start getting their life instead of my life. So I start getting things that they thought were really awesome. And it's not necessarily the things that I think are really awesome. And maybe there's some overlap. And then that gets me thinking, oh, maybe I just got to listen to them more. Maybe I just got to do it their way a little more. What I find the key to all that is when you're feeling it, when you're like getting information from other people, it's ideas and suggestions for your own inner guidance to follow. So by learning a ton of cool things, your own channeled higher self, inner being perspective can now say, hey, do that thing. If you don't have that frame of reference, it now has to make subtle suggestions like go over there and talk to that person. If you know what the thing is, it can go, hey, go learn that. Go there. Hey, there's an event with that. Go there, get it. So now it can be more precise. It can be louder in that sense. And that's why I find one of the cool things about your inner guidance is you can actually ask it anything. You can ask your inner guidance to be really loud. You could be like, hey, can you yell at me when this is really important so it's not a subtle sign that I miss? I find doing that was actually one of the most helpful things I've done with my inner guidance in like the last 3, 4 months. So, okay, so when I'm following someone else's life, how do I get back into my own life? Like, how do I be more of me? How do I be myself? How do I align with my life? And that is the key. It's alignment, it's allowing, it's surrendering. There's all sorts of cool words for it, but I like the word align. And I like the word align for a lot of reasons because, like, in my physical body, it's like, yeah, posture, aligning, right? So it's real tangible, it's real visceral. It's also like, am I going in the direction? And so, what's that like? How do you align? What is that? And so, that is the moment of reharmonizing with everything in your life. It is the moment of allowing whatever's there to be there. It is that it's like acknowledging what's there and then getting up to speed with it. It's like reharmonizing with it. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna get back on the ride. It's like I don't know, maybe I'm like on a Disneyland ride, and this is life. I don't know if you've all been to Disneyland, but it's kind of like a slow cruising ride with a lot of decorations and stuff. And maybe it stops for some reason, and I just get out and start wandering around, or I could just stay on the ride and it'll take me where I'm supposed to go. And so if I can align with the flow of my own life, it takes me where I want to go. I don't even have to know where it is. If I just get in the flow and align with the flow of my own life, it takes me there. So, okay, so now we have 3 tips, 3 strategies, 3 branches to get there. One of them is just get in the flow of your own life. Really easy ways to do that. Breathing, doing things you like, choosing your own permission slips, being in the present moment. It's probably the absolute simplest one, perceiving your senses in the present moment. And the idea is to then reharmonize with your life, and not just for a split second. I've done that. Have you guys done that? Have you been like, oh, you know what? I'm sad. I'm happy for like 2 seconds. Now I'm ready to jump into the biggest challenge of my life. Yeah, have you guys felt that before? Give me some nods, drop something in the chat. I like the interactivity. Yeah, thank you. Get some nods going. Thank you. All right. And so the idea there is like, what is happening, right? How do I get this going? So if I'm aligning with my life, the key is to release resistance. And I find one of my favorite approaches that is to feel more ease because I want my life to be easier. I've done enough hard, challenging things. And if I'm going to do things hard and challenged, I like hard challenges. Like, I don't want a boring life. I like things that are interesting. I'm going to do it in a way that feels easy. I'm going to work hard with ease. I'm going to be easeful in my actions. And so as I do this, I harmonize with ease by being present with that feeling. And then if you do that consistently enough times, and it's It's not about the time, it's more about the timing. It's not even really about the consistency and the momentum because it's really about concentrated focus from a specific state of being. So it's your dominant state of being. And so when my dominant state of being is harmonized, my life is harmony. When my dominant state of being is ease, my life is easier. When my dominant state of being is looking for problems and struggle, then that's what I get. And when my dominant state of being is trying to figure out what other people are doing, that's what I get. So it's about aligning your vibration, your thoughts, your focus, your emotions, your state of beings, your actions into your alignment, your flow, your harmony. And you do that by following your inner guidance, by asking amazing questions, by receiving those answers, by trusting it, which is the number one thing people ask me about. How do I trust my own inner guidance? How do I even know it's my inner guidance? What is that? And then doing it. And the key there is to make the steps really, 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 really simple. And so that's the recipe. I come around again. I've done this over and over. It doesn't matter what permission slip you use to get there. Whatever one works for you. You know, if you want to shift beliefs, awesome. If you want to tune into the frequency that does it all for you, which I recommend, awesome. That's a really great, valid approach. If you want to work hard and grind and push into it, yeah, that can work. All of the routes can work. And when we are aligned with it, it'll take us there. But if you're doing the thing you're not aligned with, there's resistance. There's all this stuff that shows up that shows you you're out of alignment. You might as well get in alignment with whatever's going on. So that's really what we're talking about here. How to do that, how to be that, what that is. All right. How do you guys feel about that? Is that something you want to experience? Is that something that you like? Okay, yeah, got some more nods. And so back to where I started this conversation. A bunch of you guys showed up late. I want it all. I want it all. I want all of the things simultaneously. I want the wealth. I want the health. Well, I want to say the woman, but a lot of you are women, whatever lover you want. It doesn't matter. I want it all. And I want it all simultaneously. And I'm going to harmonize with that. That's the intent I'm plugging in. Everything. Give me all of it. I want it all. I want to look at my life and love every single bit of it for a long period of time. And realign with that over and over again and get my divine plan and follow it over and over again and tune my vibration into it over and over again. Because that's what I want to experience. How many of you guys want to experience all of it? Yeah, yeah. So where to from here? So one thing on this, I'm yeah, so it's like, how do we get there? What's it about, right? So I found that one conversation is helpful. It's really a lifestyle. It's really something that is easier to get to in a group. It's easier. It's substantially, maybe infinitely easier with a friend or a group that also agrees that you're doing something that works. You know, I found if I have that person in my life and they're like, nah, I don't know about that manifesting stuff. I think you ought to just get back to working really hard and grinding like all the other people. So you can like really dislike what you're doing and then get to the goal. And okay, if you're surrounded by people like that, then that makes creating an easy life that I get in flow with and magically move toward like way more difficult. When if I'm in a group of like-minded people, and I like 3, I like 7, I like 11, or maybe gigantic communities, hundreds, thousands of people, millions of people, paradigm shift, billions of people, then it gets easier and easier with the bigger group of people working on this together. And you guys agree with that? And like I was saying, there's a consistency to it because if I just do it once, then yeah, I can have one thing. If I go back to the pattern of wasn't working, then that's what I experience again. So it's a consistency. And it turns out that if I do the same thing over and over again, and I mean by that, it could really be anything, but if I'm tuning into alignment, if I'm tuning in my inner guidance, if I'm tuning into the vibration, and I'm doing this for some amount of time, evidence starts appearing. So if I have my community and I have my focus and I'm going all in and I'm doing this for a while, it happens. It shows up. Have you guys seen that? Do you guys agree that these are really the keys to it? Getting in alignment, being with a group of people doing this for a while, and having that support network of people that they're doing this too, people that also agree. And so that's where I make these group programs. That's where I make these group calls so we can actually all work on it together. So we can go there as a group. And so I named my group program Superabundance now because I don't want to get it all. I want people who are going there so we can get it all together. I want the people who are focused and determined. And so if you're one of those people who are focused, determined, and want it all, let me know. Drop something in the chat, raise your hand, send me some DMs. I'm really, yeah, awesome, awesome. I just want to go toward this. I want the dream life. I want it. One of the things I want the most, and I've had it before. It was an amazing experience. I want the coaching business where I'm doing this, right? I'm in this community. I'm with you guys. I'm creating. We got the group. We're going together. And I want the co-creator. I want the person who I'm creating this with. I want the person that I'm strategizing with. And what I really want is I want the lover that I'm doing this with. And I've had it before. I've been in love with the person I'm creating a program with. It was one of the best experiences in my entire life. I want the dream co-creating partner, and I want it with my dream project. And for me, it's my business. Whatever it is in your life, whatever your lover is, it doesn't matter. Maybe you want to go sailing with your lover. It doesn't matter what it is. So, and then when I have my co-creative partner and I have my dream business flowing, and then I want it to just spread to every area of my life. Who else wants something like that in their life? Yeah, I got some nods. So that's what we're talking about. So when I'm talking about connecting in the superabundance, when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, that is where I'm going. So, all that in mind, you guys want to drop anything in the chat? Now's your chance. You guys have any highlights you want to share? If this was helpful, insightful, anything like that, drop it in the chat. Let me know. And I feel like it's a good time to transition toward hot seat. Yeah, so let's give you guys a chance to write anything. Anyone writing anything? You guys look super happy. It's really great to receive. You're on fire, and we all want it all. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so this is my direction. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I see you guys interested. I feel your super abundant energy. I want it all. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, oh, awesome. I love you guys. All right. So yeah, if you want, join me in my group program. Send me some DMs, whatever it is. This is where I'm going. This is the rocket ship I'm on. I'm taking it as far as I go. And whatever happens on this journey, if there's like bumps or boosts or whatever it is, I can do it. I'm the Phoenix rising. I've seen it. I've seen it enough times. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. I'm going to bounce back and do it even better than I did the first time. Yeah, sometimes I drop down an abyss, whatever it is. At the bottom, there's like a trampoline that I launch up higher than I came down. Have you guys felt that in your own life too? Yeah, I got some nods. Yeah. Maybe some of you guys are still in the abyss. That's okay. There's got to be at least one area of your life, maybe not. Maybe you're just in the abyss. It's fun. Spend a lot of time in there. I know what it's like. But if you can find that bounce out, that's the sweet spot. If you can't align with it, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how to align with it. All right. So you open it up to the hot seat. And also, just for reference, I'm just going free flow, whatever in my own life right now. So I'm bringing out all the modalities, whatever it is. I'll do beliefs, energies, magic frame, breath work. I don't care. Whatever helps you guys get the fastest. Feel your way into it, transmute everything. It doesn't matter. We're doing all of it. We're doing all of it. I'm feeling magical today. So you guys who showed up on this call are getting a super special treat. All right. So here we are. Anything else in the chat? Super abundant energy. I want it all. Okay, yeah, we skimmed through that stuff. Okay, cool. Next, who I want to talk to, I'm going to be intuitive about this. Erin, your name is standing out. Thanks for coming on the call again. Let's talk. How can I help you? What do you want in your life?
Oh my gosh, I want what you got. I want, I want to get on that rocket ship, my friend, and blast off with you. I feel like I've been in the abyss, for the past couple months, and it's like, okay, so how can I best use my time with you? Is really just finding that ease and really letting go of all that resistance so that I can just, you know, um, Start the momentum. How can I start that momentum?
Yeah, no, these are great questions, like great statements, great questions. So, like a momentum, what is it? Okay, so there's two really helpful perspectives. One, Elan. I don't know if you guys know Elan. He's one of my favorite channels. He's from Essassani. He talks about that since there's only one frame of animation at a time, momentum is concentrated focus.
Mm.
The more concentrated focus you can have on a topic, from a time-space perspective, it appears to be momentum. Okay. The other direction, we could talk about like Tony Robbins or Abraham Hicks or whatever. It's the adding focus over and over and over and over again that then creates a momentum. So if you're on the positive side of things, it's awesome. Just focus on the things you like. It's amazing. It's great. It's the easiest way to live your life. Keep looking at things you like. If you're flying a rocket ship, don't crash the rocket ship by looking at something you don't like. I've made that. I've done that a lot of times. I spent years in the abyss. I know what it's like. There's a trampoline at the bottom of it though. If you can find it, it'll bounce you right back out. Okay, so how do you get there? You want to feel ease? Feeling ease is easy. Yeah. So start by this. Breathe in an easy way. Let's start there. Immediately, just on a nice, slow, soft, even inhale. Whoo! I feel more ease. Do you feel at least slightly more ease?
Yes.
Ah, there you go. That's the gateway. You want momentum on that? Touch that feeling more often. Because in my experience, a lot of people say a lot of different things, but in my experience, the feelings come first. Feelings go to thoughts. Yeah, thoughts turn to feelings, of course. It goes both ways. There's a momentum. Feelings turn to thoughts. Thoughts turn to plans. Plans turn to actions. Actions turn to things. Because even if you do the manifest, even if I sit there and meditate all day and the miraculous experience literally walks to my door, I still got to walk up and talk to it. I still got to touch it. I still got to do whatever, right? The action is part of it. Okay. Now you want to feel that now. So as you're breathing, just breathe nice, easy. Breath ease. It's the easiest way I know. I mean, you can make it complicated. As you're doing that, where do you feel ease in your body?
My heart.
Awesome. Okay, so zooming in on the heart, put your awareness there, and like how big is it?
An orange.
I don't know where it's at. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna just go all out because I said I was going all out today. So like with your hands, grab the orange. We're gonna do like intuitive magic frames instead of traditional magic frames. So when you're holding it, if you could feel with everything you got, feel as much ease as you can, and then everyone on the call can join in on this. Simultaneously move your hands in any direction that also creates more ease. So for me, it's actually a weird twisting shape as I'm doing this. It's like I'm unscrewing something. I don't know. I'm just going with it. And as I move my hands in whatever weird pattern they naturally want to move in, I just feel better. All right. Have you noticed some of that when you're doing that? What is your experience like?
Kind of expansive. Makes it a bit bigger.
Yeah, awesome. So notice how intuitively moving your body with it, which is an action, also reinforces the state of being. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, now
Yeah.
from there, let's feel into it. So, what happens when you move your awareness into the expanding ease as much as you can? What shows up? What do you feel?
It feels like flow. It feels
Yeah,
like movement.
yeah. Okay, so put your awareness into the flow. So, as you're moving into the flow, you have your awareness in the flow. What does flow feel like?
Mm, a little bit of a tickle.
Awesome. Okay, now grab the tickly flow with your hands, like we said a moment ago, and then move that intuitively in
Mm.
whatever way. And for me, this time it's weird. I'm like crossing my hands. I'm just going some other direction. And then, oh, right there, it felt really good.
Kind of moving up, almost kind of along the chakras, if you will.
Yeah. The shape you're making with your hand kind of reminds me of like a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like a flowing direction. It's like a flowing shape. That's what I'm seeing here. So as you move your awareness into the flowing shape, and you're feeling the flow and you're feeling the ease, can you feel how right now in this moment you are generating more momentum on ease and flow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is working. Now here is a nuance that's super important is there is a very big difference between trying to do a strategy and intuitively feeling your way into a spontaneous connection. So I invite in a spontaneous connection that I then allow with curiosity and wonder, which is very, very different than I am going to do this thing over and over again until I get a result. Both
Mm.
work, both will get you there. What I found though is if I grind the thing, if that's not the most exciting thing I could possibly do in my life, I feel it in my emotions. It shows up. I start noticing that I'm doing something that's out of alignment. If I invite in and feel into the flow, it feels more aligned. You agree?
Yeah, I love that distinction.
So getting into that. How do we feel our way into a flow? We invite it. And that's like the inner guidance thing. I ask questions like that. How can I feel my way into the flow right now? And then what if I just let myself feel my way in there? So what happens when you feel your awareness into that flow more? What happens to it?
I, yeah, with you bringing that distinction brought me into my head, and now I'm kind of like, now I've got those parts where it's like, oh, I don't ask the right questions, and I don't, it's the battling of that, right? So when that shows up, do I just go back into my body and feel, just kind of shut off the mind again and just feel again into the ease?
Yeah. So let me ask you this way. What is your what feels like the correct answer to you?
Going back into my body,
Yeah.
right?
So what if
The
I told you something else? I'm like, no, you got to run a marathon. Yeah, like yeah, you can just feel it in yourself. What feels correct to you? What guidance is correct for you in this moment? And you can tell by how it feels. You can tell by if it feels aligned with you right now. It only
mm-hmm.
matters right now because that's
it,
the flow. Yeah, what's your
right.
question? You're about to say
Well,
something.
it feels like I need to um not, I guess, invalidate or kind of reframe how I'm thinking,
So
because that thinking just feels like it comes back.
yeah. So thinking is state based, right? The state of being you're in
Mm,
gives you the thoughts. So if
right.
I am in that thought and I keep thinking the things like that, it just loops. Have you noticed?
Yes,
I could chase the
absolutely.
thoughts all day long. They just keep looping.
Yes.
So, okay, if that's the experience you're going for, then yeah, that'll get you there. The way to change the thought patterns, from my point of view, the easiest way of doing it is to change how you feel. And the easiest way to change how you feel, from my point of view, is changing how you breathe.
Mm,
Or just move your awareness around. But sometimes my awareness gets stuck, something sticky. It's like, I can't get my awareness off there. What happened? So, okay, breathing, because I notice physicality actually helps. So, okay, so now you're like, okay, should I think about it more or should I feel about it more, right? And so I come back to that. It's like, oh, maybe you want to reframe the thoughts. Like these are the things. But what makes a reframe stick? Is it the words that you heard, or is it the feeling behind the words?
it's the feeling behind the words. Absolutely.
Because I can hear I've been in the slumps and my best friend is telling me is like, hey man, you just gotta follow your guidance. You just gotta do the thing. Your inner guidance already told you the plan. Why don't you just follow the plan that made like I used to know how, but right now I don't anymore. How do I do it? Where's the plan? I knew the plan like 30 seconds ago. Now I'm
Right.
crying. I don't remember the plan. So where how do you get back there? So how do you reconnect? Do you think your way into reconnection? Or do you, like we said, is it that opening? It's the invitation. I invite
Mm,
connection and then I flow into it and then my thoughts match the flow. I, I can do it for you, right? I can show you. I can be like, okay, feel this, ask this question, feel there. I don't want to be the fisherman that's catching all the fish for you. I want you to be able to catch your own fish. And better than that, I want you to build some factory that just catches the fish for you.
No, I love that. It's the invitation.
So it's not about all the questions. The questions are a reflection of the state of being that I'm in. And if I ask a
Mm.
really great question, I can change my state of being. But where does that question come from? It comes from curiosity. It comes from wonder. So when I'm in the state of wonder, oh, I changed my state. Then I ask the question that's actually helpful. Because I can ask questions that are not helpful. Have you guys done that before? How do you know the difference between a helpful question and a not helpful question? From my point of view, it's how it feels.
Mm.
It's really a feeling game from my point of view. And you don't have to play the feeling game. I want to point out that there's some really great high achievers out there that pick the target and grind their way there. And when I listen to these high achievers, you got billionaires like Elon Musk or whatever, you listen to how much they enjoy their life. Hey, have you guys done that before? They're not enjoying their life. I'll just give you the shortcut. So how do you get there? Well, I find if I go from the feeling place first, I can tune into that feeling all the way there. And what's the feeling that I like the most? Ease. Ease is the one I like the most. So no matter what's going on, even if I'm doing the grind, I'm like, fine, I'm going to grind. This is the most important thing in the world. I'm going to grind my way there. What if it feels easier? Wouldn't that be nice? What
Yeah.
what if you're doing the thing that you feel like you have to do? What feeling, like no matter what that is, would make it a better experience? And it may be different for you, but for me, it's ease.
No,
Okay,
I love
so
that.
so from where we're at now, have I answered all your questions, or is there something that would make this even more impactful and helpful for you?
No, that was beautiful, Kent. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so for anyone else, I see there's some stuff in the chat. If you guys want to drop anything in the chat, now's your chance. And I want to keep telling people watching the replay, now's your chance as well. I love interactivity with you guys so much. Oh, okay. So skimming. Yeah. So I see the wanting of Superabundant in the chat. Anyone still writing things? It looks like at least one of you guys are. Okay. I had a bottle of water with me. I'd like sip on it. Yeah. People on webinars are always doing that. Now's your chance. Sip on my water. Okay. So if you guys are still writing messages, you can't. Oh, here we go. That was a longer one. So many nuggets in that. What feels correct to me? Thought state based momentum is concentrated focus and more. Oh, I love the recap. That was really good. Yeah. Okay. So choose in my next person. I'm curious if I can actually plow through everyone today. We'll see. I'm going with Lena. Lena, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how can I help you? How can we make this the most amazing, impactful, transformational experience? What do you want the most?
Um, I feel a big dip in my mood state this last 2 days because I ran out of supplement I usually take. It's on its way. So I feel a lot like crying every little thing that happens wrong, or there's a song that brings all this sad feelings about losing my best friend unexpectedly, and my mom's suicide attempts, and just all this sad stuff that was going on in my life recently. And what I want is create a momentum in my life to be in the flow and align with my purpose, know my purpose, trust my inner guidance, and like know my direction. There are so many talents I have, and I'm like spread in all these different directions with my ADHD. And like one day I'm pursuing my arts, another day, next week I want to do something fashion related, do my
Yeah.
fashion stuff. So it's our healing through art and dance kind of path. So there's like three main directions that I'm being pulled towards.
Yeah, okay. So let's break it down. First, let's start with boosting your mood. So let's start with breathing. Okay, so nice, long, slow, soft, even breaths. I'm just going to take a super slow inhale right now. And a slow exhale. Okay, do you feel slightly more ease from breathing with me? Okay, so there's a key. You want more ease in your life, breathe with ease. Yeah, and then each time you do that, there is more momentum. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how to make it simpler than that. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I want to put something out there. When something like really, really tragic and hard happens and your life totally is devastated and falls apart, what I found is a key to it is to like let it land. It's kind of a weird thing. Like I find I'm just speaking from my own experience. I've had just a lot of hardship in my life, and so I'm like feeling into it. And like I find when I'm like spiritually bypassing or like trying to use tools to change what's occurring, that actually makes it hurt more. I don't know. Have you noticed that? Because it's like I get like a boost, but then I crash. I get like this weird erratic wave to my life, become more like, there's a word for that. You guys know what I'm talking about. And so what I found actually helps is to just embrace it. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna breathe. And if the waves of emotion comes, I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna ride these emotions. I'm gonna feel them. And the key though is to feel toward, I want to call it integration. I want to be a whole being again. And when I feel hurt, it feels fragmented. So can I feel whole again? And so how do I move toward that? And so I find breathing helps, but then also like letting myself do the things it wants to do. And so you're asking about inner guidance. So let's talk about that. So start with breathing again. Let's keep breathing. Yeah, keep breathing. So it could be helpful. I actually have a reminder on my phone for like 10 years. It pops up once a day that says like breathe. And so, okay, so from there, feeling the ease, where do you feel it? We're going to do something similar to what we just did. And then, yeah, grab it with your hands, move it. You got it. Wherever it goes. Yeah, you don't have to talk to me about it. It's cool. Yeah, for me, my hands are just like reaching out really far. And just notice how you feel different. You feel at least slightly better from doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, cool. So notice how when you feel better, all of a sudden your mind has more space. You feel that? Okay, so if
Mm-hmm.
you think of your mind like a container, if the mind is spacious, we can download, we can receive the inner guidance in the spaciousness of the mind. If the
Mm.
mind is full, let's say rumination, then there isn't room to hear the inner guidance. Yeah?
Mm. Yeah.
So one of the keys is to be spacious, which is to breathe, to be ease, whatever it is. It can feel different for everybody. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
from this place, feel into yourself. Move like when you feel ease, where is it in you? Like move your awareness in. Okay, and now as you move your awareness in, can you feel your inner being? Every time I feel my inner being, I smile. Like that, the essence of who you are, your Holy Spirit, your core resonant frequency, the animating life force that moves your body, moving your awareness into it. Yeah, you feel that? So, can you feel that there's wisdom in this part of you, in your inner being? Can you feel how it knows? Can you feel its knowing? Yeah, can you feel it right now? Yeah, okay. So in the space of knowing, yeah, connect into it. Like grab the knowing. Feel okay. Let's break into two steps. Where is the knowing? For me, it's in my heart. Yeah, you too. Okay, grab the knowing with your hands and let's move it around in the same way or different way intuitively, right? So grab it and then start moving it. I'm doing something weird. I'm going like backwards with it. Like, oh yeah, I just feel better when I do that. It's so silly to me how simple this can be. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Now in this space, tuning into your guidance, can you feel how you knew what to do to feel better right now? Can you
Yeah.
feel how it worked? You feel better than you did a moment ago. Awesome. So can you feel how that is your inner guidance? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So now, since you have a connection to it, ask your own inner guidance. Do you do one of these three things? Or do you do two of them? Or do you do all three of them? What feels like the correct answer for you from your own inner being knowing?
Feels like melting all three together.
Yeah, that is exactly what I thought when you first mentioned it. Because if each one is truly a representation of your highest excitement, can you see how mixing them together can be even more exciting? If each one is truly a representation of your passion, can you see how there's some way, some element to mix the two together that is even more passionate, even more of a representation of your talents and unique abilities and unique essence? Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just off the top of my head, you don't have to do it my way, but you talked about these different things. Like, what if so you talked about dancing and art and all these things. What if you like made the art into the clothes and danced with it? You know what I mean? Like, what if you just put it all together?
Um,
What if the clothes are the art, and what if the dance is the art, and what if like however it looks for you, right? So I just tossed out some suggestions. When you
mhm.
feel into your own knowing, feeling in there, you're asking yourself, what is one way? There's an infinite amount of ways, but what is one way right now that that could play out that is a representation of your passion and excitement? What's your answer? Just
Yeah, do an event with Watsu healing and dance and art and clothes is additional elements to make it special.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, how does that feel? Does that feel like it really aligns with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you see how it comes together. Okay, so now we're gonna make it practical. So you're in your inner guidance, you're plugged in, you're feeling your knowing, yeah? Ask yourself, like we're gonna make a little mini plan. You can ask it for like super long plans that go for years, but like a mini plan. What is a first step you can do immediately? And then a second, third step that you can do some other time. What are they? What is your plan that you could do starting right now?
Um, Connect with a couple of people that teach Watsu
Okay,
and
so
mhm.
start with that. Feel your way back into that. Does that first step of the plan, talk to a couple people, does that feel aligned? Does it feel like your inner guidance? Does it feel like your excitement? Does it feel like you're a passion? Yes, no? Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So what's another part of the plan? Not a part you can do immediately, but another part.
Um,
Feel it. Don't think it. Feel it. Go back in your heart. You guys see that? She like popped right out of her heart into her head, right? Yep. Go back in your heart. Feel it. What does your guidance show you? Let me present the question differently. Invite. So be like, okay, part of me that knows. I'm inviting in the answer to appear. Now, what shows up? And if nothing shows up, that's the answer. Yeah. So what's showing
mm,
up for you?
showing up a lot of beauty,
Yeah.
melting of art and fashion together.
Awesome. So my point of view is part of your guidance is to ask the people you thought of, and part of your guidance is to feel into the beauty of melting things together. Can you feel how if you do that, you'll move closer to what you intended? And
Yeah.
you made a really awesome experience. I'm glad you said yes. A really awesome experience of knowing the difference between the head and the heart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing and the thinking. Thinking is not knowing. Thinking is creativity. You can analyze. That's another thing you can do with it. That's helpful depending on what you're doing. It's different than knowing. Yeah? Okay. So I feel like we touched on all the subjects you asked for. Is there anything else you want to bring up, or you feel pretty good about that?
Feel pretty good about it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so if anyone's dropping stuff in the chat, now's your chance. What highlights, insights? Let's see. Okay, part of me that knows, I invite in the answer. Yeah, yeah. And like talk about inner guidance. He's talked about a lot. I made a bunch of like sessions and classes and all these things about it. Asking your inner guidance. That's what that is. Inviting in the knowing. That is asking your inner guidance. Just another way of saying the same thing. Anyone else writing? Anyone else? Okay. I feel like you guys might be. If you are, keep going. Okay, and bring in the next person here. Lily, it's been a while. Unmute, hop in, let's talk.
Been a minute. Thanks,
So,
Kent.
yeah, my pleasure.
So
So let me ask you the question first. How can this be the most amazing, mind-blowing, transformational, beneficial next moment of your life? And then share. How can I help you?
Yeah, thanks for that question. And my question to you has evolved based on what was happening starting this morning, actually, because as soon as after my meditation yoga practice, I opened the phone, your email showed up. I didn't even know that you were going to do a call today. And I started watching the replay from October 6th. I don't know if that's your last one, but that was the call that I missed. It could not have been a better timing. It was just so mind-blowingly perfect that what shows up in my reality is what I'm vibrating. And what I'm vibrating shows up in my reality. And that was like, fuck, what a great reminder. I knew it, I know it, but it was a powerful thing for me to hear. And I just want you to know that the reason I don't type in the chat is because everything that you say is an aha moment. So I'm writing it all down in my journal and I don't have the time to type it in the chat. So I just want you to know that I'm so grateful. Breath equals ease. The momentum is the concentration of the repetition of that, whatever I want, whatever I desire, or at least what I would like in my life. And what would make it really awesome for me if you could help me in this mind-blowing, heart-opening, soul-enriching shift that I'm inviting in. So I live in Santa Barbara and I got this really awesome job I'm a yoga teacher. I work for myself. I'm also a massage therapist. I work for myself, but I got this really awesome job at Burnham Wood. If you know what that is, it's a high elite gated community where, stars, movie stars, and all the elite people live. And I get to teach yoga there. And I'm so fucking blessed. It's just amazing. When I started first, it was really exciting. A lot of people showed up. And now, sometime later, I noticed that I'm comparing myself to other teachers, which adds on to, oh, more people are showing up to their sessions, not mine. And then I deflate myself. And lately I started feeling really deflated after I leave that place. And I'm like, what the fuck? That was so amazing for me to get into that place. I manifested it. And so yesterday, I sat there after the session, I meditated. I really wanted to hear the inner guidance, exactly what you were describing today. And nothing was showing up, and I was getting frustrated. And now I hear you say, if nothing shows up, that's the answer. Would you help me interpret that? Like nothing showed
Yeah.
up, and I was more frustrated because nothing was showing up. What should I do? Should I leave? I mean, as much as I wanted to work there, now I'm like, okay, I want something more exciting. I don't know if I should stay.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
realized that it's me changing my vibration around it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. So let's like break it down, right? So you're talking about you have an
yeah.
experience in your life that was an amazing experience to experience, and then now that you're experiencing it, you're focusing on the things that you want to be different about it, and so you're drifting out of alignment with it.
Mm,
And so in my own experience, what happens when I do that is the thing I start focusing on infuses into the thing I'm experiencing. So I started with a beautiful, amazing experience. I got like this amazing, wonderful lover in my life, and now she's an ex. How'd that happen? Well, I had this amazing thing, but I started focusing on the qualities I don't like, which then, from a manifestational perspective, she starts showing me those qualities, which I then focus on more, and then she shows me them more, and then I start focusing on other things I don't like, and that's what happens, right? Verse, if I'm able
mhm,
to continue to focus on the qualities I do like, then we're able to keep adding momentum of what I do like, and then the experience keeps moving in that direction. Okay?
mhm,
That's the vibrational component. Yeah, it's like certainly it can be uh, not that easy to do, right? And so, what's that about? State of being that we're in. Right? If we want to be easy, tune into ease more. Yeah. So how do we align? How do you get back in harmony with your life? Right? How do I get back in harmony with my desires? And what I found is it's breathing and feeling. And I found it's a really weird, tricky gray area because I've also been in the place where when I'm breathing and feeling, I'm still focusing on what I don't want. And so I'm actually reinforcing the problem, not
mhm,
going in the direction that I prefer. And it gets very, very subtle because it's not the action and it's not the process. So if I'm doing this manifestation process to change the thing, where am I coming from? And one of the catches there, it's actually coming from lack, right? Most of the time, it's like, I want this thing because I don't have it. So I'm actually in the place of I don't have it. And so that's actually the thing that I'm putting the momentum on, you know? So that's
mhm,
that's that's the slippery slope. How do we get around this like going up the slide, you know? Okay, so how do we harmonize? It's like, what is the feeling? I like ease. What is the feeling that is the resolution to that, right? So like, how can you feel that enjoyment with them more? And the words I come to, for a while there I was calling them the foundational states of being, and like to me it's about ease, relief,
mhm,
soothing, comforting, relaxing, connection, right? It's like what feeling would make this great. But see that the way I just said that, it's missing, right? So it's like, how can I feel it first and then look at my life?
mhm,
So it's like what I found is the easiest way is to breathe with ease. Eventually, if I'm in the abyss, eventually I crawl out of the abyss. There's eventually a moment where I peek my head out of the water and I'm like, air. And then I'm like, oh, but I'm looking around all the terrible things. Okay, back in the abyss, fine. But if you can crawl out of the cave, right? It's like Plato's cave, the allegory of the cave. Like I got out and it's like, oh, the light burns my eyes. I'm just gonna go back in the cave and stare at the wall again. It's like, how do I stay out there? How do you get out of the cave and stay out of the cave? Well, out of the
mhm,
cave is alignment. How do you get back in alignment? Well, it's doing things that you're aligned with, but it's not the doing, it's the feeling. It's like we just said, if I can feel it but take action from the feeling, that's what extends it. So it's like, okay, I'm feeling it. So how do you feel the ease? And my easiest way to feel ease is to just breathe with ease. Easy breathing.
mhm.
You're always breathing. If you breathe in a certain way, you feel that way. So start with that. Breathe with ease. Long, slow, soft, even. That's my favorite way of doing it. taught pranayama breathing exercises for years. And I come back to that's the one that makes the biggest difference in my life. You don't have to do all the weird things. They're fun though. You can hold your breath, squeeze your body, feel all high. That can happen. Or you can just breathe slow. Yeah. Okay, so now you're in that breathing slow, and you want to know the answer to your problem. You want to know the answer, right? So what if you feel in? Can you feel your inner being?
Yes.
Can you feel your inner being right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you what is the sensation of your inner being? And where is it?
It's the expansion of my central column,
Awesome. Yeah.
heart to
So
solar plexus to my belly.
now grab the central column with your hands, the energetic one, and then move it around intuitively, whatever feels better. Can you find the sweet spot where something shifts? What are you feeling?
More expansion of the bright light into the rest of my body.
Yeah, yeah. So feeling into that, like move your awareness into the bright light that's filling in. And what's the sensation of that?
Warmth. I even feel it tingling all over a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah. So what effect is that having on you?
Calm, ease.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So feel how you're inviting in this calm ease and it's having this effect. Okay. So now the question you were asking was like, when nothing shows up, like, what does that mean? Can you feel how in this space you can? I'll just flip around. I'll do it this way. Ask your own guidance. Right now, you got your own inner being, you got the connection to it. Ask your own guidance. What does it mean when it doesn't respond to you? What's the answer?
I just feel tears welling up.
Yeah, okay. Feel the tears and respond with the answer when you know, or maybe that is the answer.
More preparation for
Oh,
something.
okay. Yeah, awesome. So you're in there. So more prep, nothing means prepare more. So now asking yourself, when I'm receiving no guidance and I'm supposed to prepare more, what does that mean? How do I do that?
Sit. That's what comes up. Sit.
Yeah, okay. So if you were to just sit down, does it mean maybe I'm just guessing, sit and meditate, like empty your thoughts? Or does it mean something else?
Mm.
What's your answer?
Be, be, um,
Yeah,
be where you are.
yeah.
Um,
So when my interpretation of what you're saying is when you're hearing the answer of nothing, that's your guidance telling you to not think, instead to sit and be, which to me means be present, which to me means tune into your senses, your reality,
mm,
right? Like right now, I can tune into my thoughts and I can just have thoughts there. Like my mind is going. Yogis say there's 10,000 thoughts in the blink of an eye. I don't know how they measure that, but yeah, it's a saying, right? Or I can tune into my senses. Like, can you feel clothes on your skin?
mhm.
Can you hear whatever background noises are around you?
Yes.
Can you taste whatever flavors in your mouth?
Mhm.
Right? So this is being present. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then if you're maybe in this community and you're teaching yoga and all this cool stuff's going on, could you just like observe, like see the beautiful, rich community? You see how
Mm.
that's what your guidance is telling you to do, is to just simply take in what's happening?
Yeah. And there is a desire for more expansion of, like, I keep getting images of me being in a more diverse community, um, maybe younger community, because this is where I teach is more older, more settled people in their ways, in their richness, in their money. And I want to be more in the diverse community, men, women, younger people. And is that my mind being engaged, or is it really the desire from my inner being to expand more on that? And I
Yeah.
know that I'm making you my permission slip. I know that I can tune into that myself. And
Yeah. So let me just ask you the same question. Is it your mind or your guidance?
I don't know.
Okay, let's make it simple. So feel back into your part of you that knows. For me, it's in my heart. Where do you know? Where's your knowing part?
Mm,
Feel your way into your knowing. Where is it?
my central column
Yeah,
again.
awesome. Okay, so in your central column, this is where your knowing is. Is diversifying your audience and having a younger audience, is this part of your calling? Is this part of what is for you?
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
fuck yes.
yeah, awesome. There you go. See how simple that is? And can you feel how the difference between that
Mm.
and thinking about things? Like when you're like, is it? I don't know. That's thinking, right? That's analyzing, that's pros and cons. It's a very different experience than feeling into the part of me that knows that goes, yeah, this is what I want.
It came in pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it because there's the spaciousness from the open mind, right? There's the nothing there. And when you have the openness and the clear intent, boom, thoughts show up that match the feeling. And if you're in the feeling of knowing and the feeling of this is what I want in my life, now you have the answer. Yeah. And then let's make it practical. I like practical. I
Mm.
spent a lot of time on this journey imagining things. I want it practical.
Same.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's make it practical. So move back into your knowing, central column, boom, knowing, I'm here. And expand that knowing, feel into it. Where the knowing is rich. You're like, yeah, this is it. I feel the knowing. Yeah, you there?
Yes.
Okay. Ask yourself, inner guidance, what's the plan? Tell me the action step I can do now that moves me toward that. What's your answer? What shows up? Remember, invite it in. Don't ask your brain. Open up, be like, invitation, drop in. Are you sitting in silence or is there an answer that you're receiving?
Maybe I'm forcing an answer, but again, nothing shows up. I think that's where my stuck point is.
Yeah,
Where
let's just like if I could, I'd just rewind this and be like, hey, what about the conversation we just had before this moment? When
um,
you're feeling nothing, that's your guidance telling you to your words, prepare more. And
mm.
then how do you prepare more? Your what we just decided was to tune into your now moment more.
I feel that when I ask the question of what's the plan, I feel this real expansive um, extension of me, like I'm going beyond the contours of the body and like floating, like I'm so much bigger than the body. But I judge that that's not practical.
Yeah, well, okay. So what I heard from you is the plan for you. You just asked what's the plan? The plan is to expand beyond your body. That was your answer. That's what you said the answer is. Your guidance said this is how we get there. And then your analytical mind goes, "Yeah, but I want to do something else." Like, cool. Well, there you go. So the path that your inner guidance says is the fastest way there is to expand and prepare yourself by tuning into your surroundings more. That's what I heard you say, just taking the whole conversation. Then your mind's like, yeah, but I want to do things that are more practical. I want to make it more physical or something. Okay. So while we're on the call hashing it out, ask your guidance one more time. How can you make this expansive feeling more practical? What shows up?
Seeing myself with a lot of joy in my showing in my physical realm, that being the light where I am, and that feels really soothing for my
Yeah. Awesome.
whole
So
being.
so what I'm hearing from you is when you are the light, when you feel joy in your body, that is the plan. So it's expansive, it's
Mm,
joy, it's light, it's being that way, and then moving, doing things when you feel that way, right? So what I'm hearing from you is you're like, I want the grand plan that gets me all the way over there, but what your guidance is telling you is you got to harmonize with the feeling first so we could give you a plan that feels that way.
I just got chills when you said that because that's that's what I've been feeling, and you put it in words. Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, so that's like where I started this whole conversation, right? So like, and I mean the very beginning monologue, right? So it's like when you're in a consistent state of being for a chronic amount of time, that's when that becomes the dominant state that then generates the thought patterns that are consistently that way. So your general pattern that you mentioned is that you judge and these other things. When if you are able to get yourself to be in these expansive, feeling light, glowing states, that that's where the plan is.
Mhm.
The other way isn't going to get you there the same. I feel like you can still get there. You can grind your way there. It's an option. So can you feel that that's the way there? It's the feeling expansive. It is that. And then from this place, how plugged into this feeling, this glowing, this expansiveness are you feeling right now? Okay, so you can ask again. Okay, I did the step. You did the step, right? You're feeling it. You did what it told you to do. Now what's the next step of the plan? What's your answer?
I keep seeing myself in that same place, in that yoga studio, in that um, in the facilities where I teach, and I see it filled with a lot of people.
Okay, so what I'm receiving from you is if you're in that location with that feeling, it's going to attract more people.
Mm,
Right? Now the thing with this is I'm not attached to the perceived vision. I am feeling and then following the feeling.
mm,
And when you follow this feeling, it can lead you somewhere.
mm,
Right? So that's the nuance. And so it's up to you to develop the skill of following your own plan. Get the plan, follow the plan. Get the plan, follow the plan. Get the plan, follow the plan.
mm. Wow, that's powerful.
It's like what I noticed is I can get the plan, but if I disconnect from my higher self and I'm feeling all, I don't know, I want to say miserable, I'm feeling whatever, then even if I think I'm following the plan, the divine plan might have made a quick, sudden turn. Like, I don't know, Los Angeles, I used to live in Los Angeles, and there could be a straight road that just has a sudden, super sharp turn in the middle of it for like no reason. And so, like, if you're following your inner guidance and you think you know the plan, but then there's a quick, sharp turn that actually gets you where you want to go way faster, the more you can connect in and course correct the plan like a heat seeking missile, the better you can follow it to the destination, other than assuming that the plan that you had 5 minutes ago, 2 days ago, is still the best plan. Because it
Mm,
might adjust from the synchronicity of the moment, like you getting on this call and being here.
Oh, I feel like I traveled some space, infinite space to get to another planet. Oh, wow. Feels great. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're very welcome.
I have a question that's somewhat irrelevant, but it's seemingly irrelevant, but it's relevant. What prevents you from having your dream love partner, co-creating partner? Because I'm in the
Yeah.
same boat, and I'm just curious. What do you do about that?
I love that you asked. You know, I feel my flaw is that I'm a human. It's like because I how can I describe what I'm talking about as clearly as I do? Because this is my experience. You know, it's I noticed that I can tune in, and that's actually not that's okay. Let's break it down. I noticed that first I'm like, okay, I have the desire, and then if that desire is pure, and I can just focus on the best parts of it, evidence starts showing up. I like the lover. Oh, yeah, I want the lover. I want her. Right? So I tune into that and I'm feeling it. And then next thing you know, I got all these ideas. It's like, oh no, maybe I'm gonna go over to this place where there's some cool people hanging out. Like right now, I live pretty close to a college campus. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'll hang out there and see who's there. There's a lot of people. Like all of a sudden, that idea's there. It's not there, and I'm not thinking about that. Right. But then, like on the other side of it, if I'm like, what? I had this lover and she was so great and I'm crying about it again and it's been so many years and I'm still grieving and like that's my experience. Yeah, okay, I had this great experience. It's that I'm crying about it. Now, when I'm in that place, I call it a vibrational cocktail. And it's the idea of like you think of like an alcoholic beverage and whatever emotion I'm in. And by the way, I haven't drank an alcoholic beverage in years, but whatever emotion I'm in is what I'm pouring into. So if I'm feeling bliss, I'm pouring bliss into my vibrational cocktail. And then when I'm sipping on this cocktail all the time. So now when I'm looking out into my reality, I see more bliss. But if
Mhm.
I'm wallowing in misery, that's what I'm pouring into my cocktail. And so when I go and look out in my world, I just see misery. Because I could have like when I had this amazing okay, I'll just make it super practical. So I had this coaching program. I had this amazing woman in my life, and it was amazing, like literally one of the best experiences of my entire life. And then I had this other part of my life. I'm like, oh man, I really have these. I had this hard time in my upbringing, and this experience triggered it, and I was so deep in this hard, really hard upbringing experience that it was the only thing I could think about. I was in Traegerville. I was crying. I was like, oops, opened that door. Pandora's box blew open. Okay, didn't know that was going to happen. So now I'm wallowing in misery. So what do? I turn to her and go, solve my problems for me. I had this horrible experience, and you're this amazing woman. I'm certain that you can solve all of my problems for me. So I'm going to just dump them on you because this is the smartest thing I could possibly do right now. Because the only thing I can think of is how terrible I feel. So now when I'm in terrible feeling lens and I start pouring it on her, what's she feeling? Well, okay, this guy he's traumatized, he's having these problems, he wants me to fix his problems, red flags are going off. I'm gonna start creating some distance. This is not healthy for me. There you go, that's what happens, right? So each time I have a really great experience like that, the ups, the downs, the roller coaster, I sit down and I reflect. And you know, I don't know. I think it was Bashar. He if people ask him about depression, he calls it compression. He's like, no, you're not depressed. You're just going inside. You're just going inside. So I go really deep inside, right? That's the grief tells me to go inside. You can't do anything external about grief. You might have noticed. So I go inside. Okay, I want to start hashing it out. After a while, the person I dumped all my problems on, no, they can't hash it out for me. And even if they tell me things, I can't hear them unless I'm at their vibration anyway. So when I go
Mm.
inside enough, I can eventually clean it, clean it out. And how do I clean it out? I align with it. Align with it. Right? Maybe ease. Maybe that's really what I wanted. And in this case, it's really soothing. I want soothing, man. Heartache hurts. Soothing. Let's soothe that. So I started doing all the self-soothing. Start doing the self-soothing, do more and more and more of that. My life's more soothed. Evidence of soothing's around me. And then, oh yeah, maybe I'll go get the massage. Or, oh yeah, maybe I'll do that hike. And all of a sudden my life starts aligning again because I'm taking aligned action again.
Mm.
But that other topic is now it's a dirty topic now. I dump crap all over it, right? And so now how do I clean that up? I can't touch it without crying. I don't know. Right? So what do I do? So it's like, oh, I'm going to build a new momentum stream. I'm going to focus on what I want again. I'm going to get back in harmony with my life. When I'm in harmony with my life, the ideas show up. If I can get myself in a high enough state of being where I'm connected to a strong enough super consciousness where I know the answer, I can now follow my plan to my desire.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is it. I'm a human. I'm walking the tightrope and I fall off every once in a while.
Mhm. So in
But I
other
got the
words, it's
map.
just practice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Practice what
yeah,
you want.
yeah. I think that's a really great way of putting it because practice is definitely part of it. And I feel like it goes beyond practice. It's lifestyle.
Mm.
Because like I can practice something and get really skilled at it, but it doesn't mean it's my lifestyle. Like, oh, it's like I'm not a sports person, but I love sports analogies because I think they do really well. Like I think about basketball, and I can practice basketball. I can practice it all day long. But am I going to be as great as someone where it's their lifestyle? They'll be able to get those baskets more often than I am. Okay?
Mm.
So it's like going beyond practice to the point of this is my life, this is my community, this is where I'm going, this is the most important thing to me. Because like when you listen to any expert on any topic, they talk about the failing is the succeeding. You get there by failing faster. They all talk about this. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's not a failure. It's learning, it's progress, it's opportunity, it's growth. Oh, that mindset's a lot more empowering. So it's like, what perspective am I perceiving through? If I'm perceiving through the misery and the failure and all that, that's just what I get more of because that's the lens I'm looking through. That's like, it's like the Snapchat filter. I'm going to put on everything is awful filter and then look through it, right? Or I put on the Snapchat filter where everyone's more beautiful and I get to see that. It's my own state of being that is the lens that I get to look through reality to. So if I want it all, I want it all. What's the feeling of that? To me, that's the amazement, the awe, the fulfillment, the excitement. So how do I
Mhm.
get that momentum that strong? If I was really there, if I really had the dream woman, the dream relationship, the dream job, the income, the clients, the low list, how would I feel? There's that moment that it all comes together. That feeling is then the one I want to add the momentum on to create the journey there, to ask my inner guidance how to get there and to build the way there.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. And I saw Janet's comment. Janet, I'm not commenting on the chat, but thank you so much for your comment.
All right. Yeah. So
Yeah, very
anyone else?
helpful.
Oh, yeah, you're very welcome. Anything else you want to add or ask or anything? Or are you good? You're good? Okay. I think that was good. Okay. OMG is like you were reading my mind tonight. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for saying that. Okay. And let's see here. Thank you for bringing yourself to the call. I got a lot out of your sharing. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming to this call. This is my favorite thing to do with my life, and helping you guys is actually makes it even better for me. Um, I found leveraging it, like helping more people simultaneously. I really like that. It actually makes it way more enjoyable than just like meditating by myself, sitting on the floor thinking about this stuff all day long. Yeah, I see you're laughing. You've done that. I see you. So to me, it's about the community. It's about including people. It's about having friends. It's about doing this in groups. It's about sharing what I'm learning. It's about leveraging it. It's about hitting a bigger audience so there's more people that we can collaborate and co-create with, because that's the energy. That's the energy. That's the energy that means all this to me. That's the direction I'm going with it. And yeah, like I mentioned, you guys want to join me in my group program, hit me up. It'll be awesome. And I'm going to start doing more TikTok lives and stuff. I feel like that feels like the real big direction, because I really want to help a lot more people. I looking forward to seeing you on TikTok. Awesome. Groups are powerful. The energy is powerful and infectious. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, let's just wrap it up. This is cool. I had so much fun on this call. I don't know. This is probably one of my favorite one of these calls I've done with you guys in quite some time. So I love you all so much. Thank you for joining and giving me the opportunity to share this with you, to help you guys have the breakthroughs, the experiences, to understand, to develop the skills. I want to emphasize skills. These are skills. Once you have the skill, you do it. It is developing skills of following your own guidance, of tuning into your desires, of aligning with your life, of getting in flow with your life. It's skills. This is skill-based practice. And so you guys give me the opportunity to do this. The more of you that are here with me, the greater this energy stream is, the more clear the connection, the more powerful the energy. And I love to deliver in a way where all of you guys resonate every single time. That's my intent. That's what I love to do. So thank you. I love you all so much. And I will see you guys. Like, join me. I'll see you whenever you join me. I'll see you all soon. Love you. Thank you so much, Kit. This was helpful. Awesome.